question that I want to start with, the frame is what is it that is behind success? What is behind meeting your goals? A traditional answer would be it's hard work, it's focus, it's persistence, it's resilience, and indeed it is all of that. And if there's a clicker, by any chance, that would be great. Yeah. And it is all of that. But I think these are byproducts of something else. And that something else is what I hope you will develop in yourself in the years to come. And that something else is what I want to talk to you a little bit about. And I want to start with a guy that some of you may have heard of. A guy, his name is Josh. Now, he is 36 years old today. But what's remarkable is that he's an international chess grandmaster. He was declared a prodigy at the age of 6. And he's the only person ever in the US to have won every chess competition. So he won the primary chess competition for little 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds. Went on to win the elementary, the junior high, the high school competition, and then went on to become the national junior chess champion. So he won it. He's one of only 2 children. In fact, when he was 11 years old, he played with Garry Kasparov, at that time the reigning chess champion, and drew the game with him. Only 2 children have ever done that. And that he did when he was 11 years old. A remarkable fellow, no doubt, right? And then, when he was 21, he decided to embrace Tai Chi. Went on to win the world championships twice in Tai Chi. And if you read about him today, he is now on Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he set a goal for himself to win, even at 36 years of age, become the world champion in that. Now, if you ask this person, by any yardstick, in his own way, he's been successful. If you ask him and say, hey, what's the greatest thing that has happened to you? And he answers, losing my first chess championship was a blessing. Why? Because it set me on a path that I could avoid lots of psychological traps. What psychological traps is he talking about? He's talking about the trap that I start believing that I'm a prodigy. I have innate talent, and therefore I don't need to put in the effort to succeed. And what is more, that when I hit an obstacle, in that situation, I will fall apart, right? And if I didn't get into that trap because I lost very early on the championship that I was competing for, right? Now this is significant, because if you now look at what a professor in Stanford talks about, how many of you have heard of Carol Dweck? Does that name ring a bell? No? Now, Carol Dweck, this is a relatively recent phenomenon. She has been researching people and has found that all of us really have one of 2 mindsets. One mindset is this mindset that Josh has, which is that my innate intelligence and abilities are fungible. They can be grown, they can be expanded, they can be developed. And that mindset, that way of thinking, is called the growth mindset. There's another set of people, roughly about 50% of the population here, going by Carol's research, would fall in the second category. And they have a mindset called the fixed mindset. The fixed mindset is that I got this intelligence and ability, and you know what? It was God's gift to me. I have it. I am innately smart. I am naturally inclined to do things well. And therefore, I am good at what I do. That's a view. Some of us have it. Now, what's interesting is that if you start at the age of 12, which is where it becomes visible as to which mindset do you have. If you ask children below that, it's not very clear. But by the time they get to 7th grade or so, you can actually start talking to them and discerning from that conversation as to which kind of a mindset that they have. And then you watch their performance from 7th grade onwards, you find that children who have the growth mindset begin to pull ahead from those who have the fixed mindset. Right? Now that's not very surprising, because they are at a stage when they're growing rapidly, and And if you have this kind of a growth mindset, then obviously you're investing in yourself, developing your abilities. It's a very natural phenomenon, nothing particularly surprising about that. So, but what's really interesting here is these two mindsets that we are talking about, the growth mindset and the fixed mindset, they underpin almost everything that we think of in terms of what drives our success. We think of effort, resilience, and all this list of things that you see here. Below that is actually this mindset that drives us. You probably agree with that. And it is the question that we should ask ourselves, therefore, is should we fix these manifestations of this mindset, or should we go back and fix the mindset first? And the argument that I want to leave with you today is that we must go back and fix this mindset first. But the first question that we have to ask, if I'm already 30, how many of you in this room are 30 plus? Oh God, yeah. So if almost all of us here are above 30, is it even possible for us to change this mindset? And I have somebody sitting beside me, and he is saying yes, and I wouldn't be here talking about this if the answer was no. So really, how we think of ourselves is really, really important. And why is it important? Because at the other end of the spectrum, if you don't think of Josh, you think of people who were not prodigies, who were the opposite of prodigies. Opposite of prodigies is Winston Churchill, who failed, for heaven's sake, his 6th grade. Right? The opposite of prodigy was Edison, who was told, and I lived in New Jersey for a number of years, and if you go to what is his now, his lab and his house turned into a museum, and you hear about his early days, he was a write-off, complete write-off in the eyes of people who were around him at that point in time. If you look at Albert Einstein, the same thing, and so on and so forth. So you find these are the opposite of Joshes that we were talking about at an earlier time. And they became successful because whether you are a Josh or you're a Winston Churchill, the common factor in the success is the fact that they embrace the growth mindset. Now the remarkable thing about Josh, and many Joshes are here in this room, is that despite his obvious natural talents, he did not fall into the trap of thinking of a fixed mindset. Now for these people, there was no choice but to embrace a growth mindset if they wanted to make something of their life. Right? So there is something to thinking about the growth mindset as you go forward. But let's answer the basic question that we're talking about, which is really, how does the growth mindset kind of work itself? Now we know from Carroll's research and other research that has happened over the last few years how this works. If you take a person who has a fixed mindset into an fMRI machine, and take another person who's got the growth mindset, and you watch their brain activity, you find that the brain becomes active at different points. In the case of a fixed mindset, the brain becomes active when they're receiving information, when he or she is receiving information, which is giving feedback about how has that individual performed against some performance norms. In the case of a growth mindset person, you find that no, that doesn't happen, and the brain activity actually peaks when they're receiving information about how to do better the next time. So there is a physiological basis for the mindset that we are talking about. Now that's not how you're born, that's how you train yourself, but there is evidence to show that people are wired differently once they embrace a certain mindset. Now this is not surprising. We know mind is a very malleable kind of organ, and therefore you can rewire it hopefully at the age of 30 as well. But now that you have a growth mindset or a fixed mindset, things appear very different, right? Because you are dealing with setbacks in a very different way. We know people who have a fixed mindset, they deal with setback in a very different way from those who have a growth mindset. What do? They say, hey, I had this setback, this means I'm incapable. If I'm incapable, my ego tells me I don't want to declare myself as incapable. So what should I do? I should lose interest in this. So what you see as a motivation problem, hiding behind that usually is a fixed mindset. The person with a growth mindset deals with a setback very differently. They say, hey, what does this mean? This means I've got to go back and fight this problem and develop my abilities even further.